Good afternoon. Just waiting for it to show on YouTube. Hope you're all well. So let's see if we can get the stream up and going. There we go. Good stuff. Just going to turn the volume down. Thank you very much, Stephen, for your message. Appreciate that. She's a lot brighter today. Delighted to see. It's always a worry when an 86-year-old goes under the knife. So appreciate your comments. Thank you very much. So we're up and about. I've just got to keep an eye on this app, so you'll have to excuse me. This is one of my apps for work. So 2:30 is beginning. Just got to get set up. Gordon, hi. Nice to see you. So let's work Football 24, pick up the leagues of interest so we don't get overwhelmed with dings throughout the day. Danish Landspokkel today, Vejle, usually reliable for over 2.5 goals, but we don't know if that will translate to the cup. And we'll collect our odds on favourite. It's already been an odds on favourite goal here for Frankfurt since the 27th of September. So I'm expecting, really, them not to do a number. They did beat Bayer Leverkusen last week, but really, that's down more to Leverkusen being away from home pre-European club competition. But they might gain some belief from beating Augsburg, beating Bayer Leverkusen Augsburg. But I would expect a side only really beaten by Bayern Munich and Hoffenheim recently in Eintracht Frankfurt to do a number with home advantage. So that could be our first play of the day. I'm not going to rush in. It's very early. But what I will do, we're going to lay over 1.5 goals straight away. So let's get that sorted out. Thank you very much, Michael. Yeah, she's doing very well indeed now. Delighted, because she was looking terrible yesterday. But bright as a button today. So fabulous stuff. Don't forget to lay over 1.5 goals, even if you're not going to play, because Frankfurt really should get the better of Augsburg today. So 1.08, 1.07 is missing in an illiquid market. But get this one done, £3.20. Now you've got the current scoreline covered. And we can just hold out, see whether Frankfurt turn up as we expect them to turn up. So that would be good news if they can deliver today. But we're just careful with that win against Bayer Leverkusen that it might just give some belief to Augsburg, who shouldn't really be following up away from home against and that's probably the 1-1, which I'm probably going to miss out on. I wouldn't be surprised. So we'll wait and see on that one. Or it's VAR, of course. So we've got all of our major leagues done. We've got all the English. Let's have a look. Yeah. Not missing anything major. So now we can focus just on these leagues here. And off we go. Now, Augsburg goal has been disallowed. So if you did lay over 0.5 goals, it'll be scuppered. So we'd be reverting back to usual. That would have been a good entry point there, to be honest with you. And bang! What did I say earlier on? I'm sorry I didn't remind you. But this is what Atletico Madrid do, isn't it? I bet you we had 65th minute substitutions. 1-1, and then he brings on the subs and you lay the draw. So I hope one or two of you picked that up from what I mentioned at half-time earlier on. They are electric at home, Atletico Madrid, aren't they? Look at the subs. Look at the subs. Bang. Normally the subs will come after that goal. Antoine Griezmann coming on for Alvarez Brilliant, brilliant stuff. And he is your go-to man for Diego Simeone, isn't he? He got the assist in the last time they were in trouble. Just got to keep an eye on this one. Please fix, because this is an important app for me, and they're not. You can see I can't get the thing, so I'm just trying to solve this issue. So Atletico Madrid, I hope you picked that one up yourself. I gave it a small mention if Valencia did equalise. Start laying that draw. Sorry I didn't follow it up with any great conviction. Torino got the opening goal against Cremonese in a battle of two very untrustworthy sides. Only 2 wins all season for Torino. And Jamie Vardy winning Player of the Month award. Unbelievable, Jeff. I think must have been for November. Great goal scoring for Jamie. 2 goals against Bologna. Superb stuff there. 2-0 win against Lecce as well. That's something you can see that Lecce beat Torino 2-1. So we might get a goal from Cremonese today, but by no means are they trustworthy, are they? Reggiana and Padova, it's Italian Serie B. So we've got all of our odds-on favourites selected in Soccer 24. So we can monitor these. We can monitor them via this button here. And that's our odds-ons. So keep an eye on these today. You can see. And that's Reggiana and Padova. It's not an odds-on favourite match, so there's no need. And there we go. I told you about the Hoff. We're expecting 2 or 3 goals for the Hoff today, but there's no real trading angle, is there? Unless it's 0-0 at half-time or Hamburger score first. But if those of you who do go first half market, by all means do in the Hoff match, particularly when they're priced like they are today to score 3 goals. They're having an exceptional season today. They really are. This season, the mighty Hoff. So favourites delivering. What a pity Augsburg's goal didn't stand. That would have been a good possible trading angle. So this is the watch list at the moment. We can get rid of Atleti. Really solid at home. Talk about banker bets. They are brilliant at home. Grenoble and Montpellier, no strong opinion there. Montpellier scoring first, 8th against 12th. French League 2. We don't have to bust a gut to try and get something out of this. Another goal coming in. And there we go. Diego Simeone will be a happy chappy with that one. We don't need any more updates from there. Sud Tirol against Bari. We've got a red card. So we need to just look at Serie B. Sud Tirol and Bari. Look for the reaction from Bari. If there is going to be a reaction. Because you do have an odds-on favourite at home in Sud Tirol. Now, yes, Young Boys did do it against Lille. Odds-on favourite Lille. Young Boys did make it 1-0. So keep an eye on Bari. Probably one for the second half if they can get something out of it. If these draws are score draws, we might be in action. But we've had a couple of 0-0s between these two. Bari's last away match was a 0-0. That's a slight concern. Failing to score in the last 2 away matches as well is a slight concern. And failing to score for Sud Tirol in 2 of the last 3 as well. So it's certainly a watching brief. You want to see a decent reaction from Bari, don't you? We need to see some Bari solidity here. And then if you lay that draw, as you know, by laying the draw, if we get that goal from Bari, the draw odds are likely to be about 10s and a really good later back trade. So get the German Bundesliga up as well. Mönchengladbach are having the form of their life at the moment. Absolutely chock full of goals. And they've gone a goal down to Wolfsburg. Now look at pre-match. Evens only for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Not banker material by any stretch. But in the form they've been in, they really are a side to have on your side. We will see whether we get a reaction from them today. Do you trust them now after that recent run of incredible form? We can go to Soccer Stats and have a look at that recent solid form. So moving on down, Mönchengladbach and the Wolf. I'll just show you what I mean about just suddenly coming into life. It just screams of a new manager, doesn't it? 4-3-3-0-1. A little bit tighter defensively in the last three consecutive clean sheets, 4 clean sheets in 5 matches. Are they really going to concede a second goal? Who have they been playing as well? Well, they kept Leipzig quiet, but that was a Leipzig away from home. This might tell you whether they've just been lucky enough to be playing strugglers. And that might tell you that the form's not that hot. They're playing 4th from bottom today, and they've beaten the bottom 3 away from home 2-0. They've failed to score against 10th, 12th and 13th at home, though. So, yes, they've suddenly come to life, but it's mostly come against the bottom 3. Wolfsburg, well, they do score and concede, don't they? And they don't normally score that second goal. So I don't know if you wanted to have a go on this one. And I'll just fix preview now. See if they will fix the preview. So Mönchengladbach might interest me. It's another one of those. You could lay over 1.5 goals, I think. I might even have a go at this with that clean sheets and the fact they're playing 4th from bottom today. But it's one you'll have to take the hit if it doesn't come off. By no means are Wolfsburg banker, Mönchengladbach banker by any stretch of the imagination. But if you lay over 1.5 goals now, if it remains 0-1 and Mönchengladbach come to life at 0-1, you've got this covered at least. You saw it work very effectively midweek, where we laid over 1.5 goals. The final match, of course, if you got involved at the 40th minute or before, that would have been superb. Mönchengladbach +1 is likely to be about evens. Yes, indeed, which is very appealing. That covers the draw, but it's also a warning sign. Anything above 1.8 in the +1 market is a warning sign that it's not wholly trustworthy. But you're going to get extremely good value about Mönchengladbach. Evens pre-match, double the odds already after 14 minutes. Do we trust that clean sheet record? That is the thing. Do we trust this clean sheet record against 13th and lower? Do we look at this and say they haven't been scoring that second goal away from home, the Wolf? So I'm prepared to lose. But +1, I'm quite happy with +1. It just takes away the problem of looking for the win. So I'm not going to pass this on to Telegrammers. I don't think it's strong enough for Telegram. But if you want to follow, by all means do. But the form is not ultra red hot, is it? If we take away the Werder Bremen loss, they're okay against 9th and lower. What we're hoping for is that Wolfsburg continue to struggle to score that second goal away from home. These are our odds-ons in Germany. We've got Czech odds-on favourite, Mlada Boleslav scoring first against Hradec Králové. Again, it's not one to jump on immediately. So just taking a walk through, these are the matches that I've focused on. Baník Ostrava and Pardubice. We've got 1.73 home favourite. Again, Czech 1 League. You don't really have to focus too much on the Czech 1 League. Just keep an eye on Jamie Vardy and his pals in case they continue their 2-match winning run. Torino, well, there's collateral form for these two with Lecce, Cremonese beating Lecce and Lecce beating Torino. So keep an eye on this. But these sides win very infrequently. They're not Bayern Munich, Barcelona or Atletico Madrid at home, are they? Coming to half-time, Venezia and Monza. Now, you might want to practice looking at your 0-0s at half-time. Venezia and Monza. Scroll down. View stats and matches for both teams. And you'll see, as we go all the way to the bottom here, you can see where they are first. It's a top 5 clash. And certainly Venezia had the 1-0 away. But they have scored in both of their matches against the top 4 at home. Monza, well, they do like a 0-1. That's probably why it's going to end up 0-0 at half-time. Clean sheets as well against the top 4 for Monza. So, interesting. They do look pretty good, and we don't see any 0-0s all season for Monza. If you go down to this section, home for the home side, away for the away side. We don't have emphatic second half scoring stats for Venezia really. And we've got about a 50-50 for Monza. But this is the one, only the 1-0 at half time at home, none at full time. Only the 1-0 at half time away, none at full time. So we've got the possibility of second half goals here. Monza do keep clean sheets. So you'll have to be over-reliant on them if you're going to be getting that 0-0 ending second half. So Serie B, not really top of the pops. But you can see Bari's reaction now, can't you? Bari's reaction to that red card suddenly come to life. The momentum is going upwards. Now you saw with Panathinaikos, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to score because Panathinaikos just completely capitulated, didn't they? But that is promising from Bari. Just might want to have that match on lookout, ready for the second half. Reasonable odds for the draw, given there's a red card involved. So if you're doing a full liability, it would be something like a 22 quid return. If Bari score first, you're going to get nearly all of that money back. Looks like Modena are having a good day against Spezia. Reggiana against Padova. Pre-match, 2.2 the favourite, not red hot at all. Vejla, well, are they up for the cup or not? Second half last match in the against Brøndby in the Danish Super League. All of those goals come second half for over 2.5 goals. I wonder if that's going to be the case today. They are reliable, but whether that reliability flows over to cup football, we don't know. Just have a look at some of the other matches and indeed just clean this up a little bit to prepare for the 3 o'clocks. Atletico Madrid, brilliant job. I really hope you played. Sorry I didn't give it a stronger shout. The SPL has been tradable in bursts. Maybe have a look at Hearts today, coming off the back of that pre-Europa League win against Celtic, catching Celtic with their pants down. Everton, well, they've been rather dismissed today, but David Moyes is getting clean sheet wins out of the Toffees, isn't he? Liverpool at 1.75. You're having a giraffe, me old son. 1-2-0, 1 goal scored at home recently, I think. Maybe not in that order, just off the top of my head. And they needed a penalty in midweek. Dominic Szoboszlai, the best player at Liverpool at the moment. Really brilliant. Consistent and quality. An excellent find for the hairless one managing them. Brighton could have a say today. Remember their 3-goal haul against Aston Villa recently. English League One, English League Two, we're going to be focusing mostly on odds-on favourites. Now, is that Mönchengladbach or is it a 0-2 for the Wolf? We will see. Lovely jubbly. Thank you so much. Mönchengladbach keeping the Wolf to a single goal. Now, my gut instinct plays have been very good of late. They're ones where you can't really trust the team that much. I made some really good calls midweek. Both teams to score and opposing Celtic with Roma, etc. So delighted with this one. And as ever, you're going to be ruining, not going into the match odds, getting fours about Mönchengladbach after 14 minutes. Now they've demolished all the way down to 2.24. Really disappointing. But evens for +1, you could even get out now. Take that 15 quid and you've seen. Yeah, hello John H. Got on Mönchengladbach. Well done. They're just in superb form at the moment. Are they going to follow up with a second goal? Are they going to keep Wolfsburg to their usual single goal away from home? Something has happened at Mönchengladbach. I suspect it's a new manager. Let's see if Mystic Meg is right. Jürgen Polanski, November the 18th, 2025. For Mr. Polanski. Remember that date, November the 18th, 2025. Now let's have a look at the form for Mönchengladbach again. November the 18th, 2025. When have they just started going mental? Well, November the 22nd. So prior to that, they were doing well. He's followed up with that great win against Heidenheim and keeping clean sheets now as well. So Mr. Polanski helped out perhaps by an interim manager getting a tune, or Mönchengladbach playing two newly promoted sides coincidentally. So Jürgen Polanski getting a tune out of Borussia Mönchengladbach. Whenever you see a sudden lurch like this, there's always that new manager element in play, isn't there? So let's just clean up a bit of this. I think Bari, as you can see, they're starting to light up the momentum. 2 shots on, 3 off, 3 corners. Hopefully. Yeah, John's eating his greens today. He's got a parking fine to pay. Yeah. Good boy, John. Eat those greens. So hopefully that will help your parking fine. I could let you borrow my dad's disabled badge if you want. If you can come to Guernsey, I can let you have that. Get yourself some VIP parking just outside the supermarket. So let's have a look through. Coming to the end, Cordoba and Eibar. So we can say ta-ra to that one. We can say goodbye to Ream. And start to populate this with some of the standout 3 o'clocks. Eintracht Frankfurt, yeah, what a pity that Augsburg goal didn't stand. Because I think Frankfurt should be doing a number on them today. St. Pauli are priced to be competitive. You can see now they got their first draw. Take away the cup match against Borussia Mönchengladbach, who obviously wanted to get rid of the cup. Focus on staying up in the Bundesliga. That 1-1 last gasp equaliser against FC Köln for St. Pauli ended that horrific losing run, and now they're suddenly lurching towards odds-on favouritism. But you've got to be careful. Heidenheim came from behind to beat Union Berlin, who franked it the form by beating Leipzig 3-1 yesterday. So Heidenheim, just be a little careful. But this is auguring well for St. Pauli. I think they've got one of those famous grounds. They close a car park on you. The bar stewards. Yeah. Hoffenheim already scoring. This is going to be a tough one to predict post-European Chelsea, David Moyes, clean sheetery for Everton. I don't know if we can do a throwaway lay of over 1.5 goals today. So let's have a look. It's a good thing to do if you've got an inkling that there'll be a tight match. And with David Moyes, again, it's not liability. It's to win 40 quid, £2.80. If you can get to half time at 0-0, if Everton can really tighten the ship, get to half time at 0-0, then we are in business with a free lay of the draw, full liability lay of the draw, second half. The only way that will lose is if it's a score draw. Just get rid of some of the Spanish football. Any standouts today in the SPL? Not really. Well, Livingston odds on favourite. I think Hearts are playing a little bit later on. They'll be perhaps buoyed by that win against Celtic. I hope you spotted St Johnstone yesterday. 2 goals down. Newly relegated, top of the league. Having a better season than Ross County, aren't they? Ross County having a nightmare, having been relegated as well. But the liquidity is an issue in Scotland. I'm just going to tidy this up so we're readying ourselves for the invasion at 3 o'clock. And we can get to matches nice and quick. While it's quiet today, in any quiet periods, I'll just take you for a walk through some of the apps. This is an app of mine, but he's making a pig's ear of this one. So just got to persist. But I'll walk you through some of the apps today and trying to get football trading profits within a solitary app. I think mixing artificial intelligence with my own work, I think will be the perfect pairing for you guys and girls. Coventry odds on today. That bears your interest because when they're odds on, as you saw last week with that 0-1, if you cashed out, superb. Leicester 0-2 up against Bristol City, and Bristol City came back to 2 goals. Might be the case here with Ipswich, who are a little bit worse away from home. Not that trustworthy away from home. I think I'll get rid of the check match when we've got better league football out there. Hradec Kralove conceded first at odds on against Mlada Boleslav, but let's leave some places for now. This could be probably 1-2, and I will be ruining, not eating my greens as John H did. There we go. Yeah, 1-2. Ouch. John H, spot on. Getting out, and I should have got out there because it was a nice 15 quid in the bag there. And you could just see they're starting to light up again. That's why this was a bit of a risk. If Wolfsburg are scoring 2 goals against you away from home, and they haven't done so, generally speaking, this season, and bit of a dodge pot, aren't you? So we'll see whether that goal stands. Don't forget, in trading, it's not the final score. It's about what happens next, isn't it? And Constant Kouliarakis looks like an own goal there. So we got away with that one, with that 1-1. Should have greened up, as John H did. Good decision. And it's a nice, simple 15, 16 quid. Straight there, straight out. And hopefully we can add on to that. I told you the Hoff, one of the bankers, likely to score 3 goals today. Whenever they're 1.67, they got 3 goals against Augsburg. Another banker today. So just walk you through, maybe on Flash Score. Just take you through. This is a sister site to Soccer 24. But looks like it's having an off day. So maybe not then. Well, an early Liverpool goal against Brighton. I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing Liverpool today. Not really top of the pops for me at all. Totally and utterly untrustworthy. Have had trouble scoring that second goal at home. And the market consistently during this woeful run has got them absolutely wrong. So I wouldn't be trusting 1.7 at all. Similarly, post-Europe, I wonder if Mohamed Salah is playing today. The sulk from Egypt. 1 goal against Sunderland, an own goal. No goals against Nottingham Forest. 2 against Aston Villa. Good result. Single goal against Manchester United. Single goal against the Arse. So 1, 2, 0, 1 scored recently at home. Not exactly world beaters, are they? They're playing. Brighton, 2 goals against Forest. Forest scored 3 against Liverpool. Failing to score, well, keeping Palace out would be the positive. Scoring 2 against Man United, scoring 1. 1-1 against Wolves. 3-1 against Chelsea, conceding 2 goals to Chelsea. So collateral form-wise, you would be with Brighton here. But Liverpool matches, I just don't like at all, to be honest. So let's take another look through. Torino Cremonese, no response yet from Jamie Vardy's boys. But these two are very dodgy indeed. 2 wins versus 5 wins. So not the most trustworthy pairing on the planet. Venezia and Monza, arguably, you'd be favouring Monza here second half, but it's not going to be top of the pile. We can get rid of Juve, Stabia and Empoli. Bari, you could lay that draw, Bari, and you might have a chance. Odds on favourite goals are coming in. Walsall and Shrewsbury. So we'll work our way down. And the odds on favourite has scored first. That's probably 2-2, is it? 1-3. John H. making the right decision to get the bleep out of Dodge. Well done, John. Just goes to show, doesn't it? Having a look at the collateral form or the challenge table form, 3 of their recent wins have come against the bottom 3 away from home. So it's hardly standout form. And you'll notice I didn't pass it on to Telegram. But John H did the right thing, cashing out there. We can get it woefully wrong. But as long as we call the next goal, it doesn't matter, does it? And as long as you green up. If you green up, you're safe as houses. I think we might get some action out of Bari. Second half. Did score against Pescara, but the problem is and St. Pauli have the goal against Heidenheim. The market correct there. But can they hold out? It's a rarefied air for St. Pauli at the moment. Rarefied air. Just want to show you the matches where goals are expected today. And kind of like a 2-1 scoreline, that kind of thing. It's been very impressive in the football testing lab. As you can see, I'm digging away at the results on a weekly basis. I've got about a couple of hours every week solidly updating these results for you. It's a bit of a gap, as you can see there. But once they're updated, Gemini or ChatGPT will be doing the analysis. Gemini probably will be able to analyse these. If I just make sure Gemini knows what all of this means and what N means, it's obvious to us, but Gemini might not know. And tell him that these are the goal times. This is 1.6 and lower in the odds checker over 2.5 goal market. So Liverpool, we've already got a goal. Hoffenheim, we've got 2 already. Any other teams playing at the moment? not just yet, but that's your list of matches where we're expecting 2, 3 or more goals. So that's just come up again. Millwall and Hull. One of these is an odds-on favourite, and it is Hull. Oh, it's Millwall, sorry. So I'm going to be looking for this match, looking for a reaction, and it looks like Millwall seem to be done. When you see that, it could be a penalty. I wonder if it is or not. We don't know yet. An early goal. Millwall look to have started very brightly after only 6 minutes, but let's not get carried away. Teams can suddenly get it all wrong. I'll go back to my odds-on list. So that's one to think about. Looking for the reaction from Hull. As ever, if you wanted to, you can stick with Chelsea and Everton. We're 7 minutes in. We've got 38 minutes to go for that 0-0. You can preempt this being a 0-1 for a while by laying over 1.5 goals if you fancied it. Get these liabilities reduced. Now we've got the 0-1 covered. We want to see if the Lions are going to continue to react. They started very brightly, but this is just 7 minutes in, so let's not get carried away. It's just the fact that they've come straight out of the blocks and got done by a counter-attack, it seems. So we'll wait on that. And there's that goal, second half, if you did lay the draw in Italian Serie B. And that's a good way to check out those matches. The half-time table. I'm just going to put my beefy Botham vibration plate on. Just to keep my muscles working. So possibilities, Millwall and Hull, but it's not high priority. And I wanted to use a flash score to show you, but it was not coming up. So maybe it will come up on a different browser. Soccer 24 on a different browser, and I can show you my personal bankers for today. So let's reject all. If it's sticky, I won't use it. Right, Leicester have the opening goal against Ipswich. Ipswich have been a little bit worse away from home. They were brilliant against Coventry at home. So my bankers today, well, obviously, I think a goal before half-time and about 3 goals from the Arsenal today. If they're no worse for wear post-Champions League. Paris Saint-Germain against a real struggling Mets. Mets do have wins in them, but they're likely to be tough. I would have put Mönchengladbach banker-ish. Hoffenheim certainly, these odds, 3 goals expected. Bayer Leverkusen, can they bounce back? Not banker material. Elsewhere, PSV, I suppose, but they're quite an obvious call. Atletico Madrid at home, just keep delivering. Barcelona, 3-goal hauls at home, been absolutely brilliant. Be interesting to see how many of these bankers deliver today. Working our way through. Any others of interest? So I haven't really sorted these out by league. Slavia Prague, FC Copenhagen, possibly with no Champions League to come, but it is the Cup. So yes, that's going to be tempered a little. Certainly Coventry at odds on today have always delivered for us when they've been odds on, and they've conceded first. So definite interest from me for them today. We've got a red card for Northampton as well. Odds on Peterborough, so that could be one for us to make sure we look at as well. We move down to French League 2, Saint-Etienne, like St Johnstone, would be my banker material today. Italy would be next, so we'll go down a bit quicker. Now, if you want to pick out matches like this, it will severely limit your workload, of course. So Tyrrell and Bari, I think we've got a good chance second half if Bari can continue that record or that reaction early on to that red card. It was a very positive reaction. We just need them to dominate. If they can score the goal, the odds will rise markedly and we will be in a profitable position. Spain, I think we've already done Spain. So that's about it for the bankers today. It's a very limited bunch, but you want quality, don't you? You want quality and readability. And it would only be these matches here. Strong bankers, and you can see 2 of them have already delivered. We want them to deliver, but we are prepared in case they make a cock up. That's what we're here for. We want to see a reaction from Bari consistently, so keep that brown above the blue. More shots on, please. We haven't had any second half. Bit like Panathinaikos, you need to have a look at the goal times. Not just going to simply lay that draw and hope for the best. So we'll look on that one with interest. We can get rid of this now, Venezia Monza, because we're expecting a goal second half there. If you did lay the draw there, well done. Reggiano and Padova, don't have a very strong opinion on that one. Fejla, doesn't look like they're up for the cup. But if you wanted an over 2.5 goal play, well, we can have a look. Is this a Millwall equaliser? And have I missed the opportunity? It's not. So laying over 1.5 goals and waiting and holding out, that is a better entry point, isn't it? If you're going to play. But they're not on the banker list, are they, Millwall? And you've only lost £2.80. Looks as if they've been mugged here, doesn't it? By Hull. So we'll wait and see what the second scoreline was. If it's a goal from open play or not. If it's a penalty, if it's an own goal. Middlesbrough starting brightly, but it's only 12 minutes in. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Eintracht Frankfurt, possibility of laying the draw second half. It'd be a bit of a stretch for me to think this will end 0-0. Frankfurt, Champions League loss to Atalanta. Losing away to Leipzig, that's no biggie. And losing to Barcelona is no biggie either. So I wouldn't be panicking too much with that recent lack of form. It's against sides far, far better than Augsburg. That Millwall 0-2 might be of interest. Let's have a look. Getting shorter. It's by no means an emphatic market, but look at the time, 14 minutes. So it's up to you if you see a bit of value in odds-on favourite. 14 minutes in at 6.8. Both teams to score. John H's great idea. You could do that if you'd like, but you'll have to win 40 quid. That would cost you £9. I would have to cover the 1-2. That would be 7.6 to win 40 quid. So it's not a huge liability. And that gives you carte blanche now to go in and hope that this is not a goal fest for Hull City today. You could lay Hull half stakers liability, back Millwall at a massive 7.4 after only 15 minutes. So I might pass this one on to Telegram. It looks a little bit of value. Because by no means have they been overwhelmed stats-wise, have they? If you look, we head down here. 4 shots on, 1 off and 2 corners, 12 attacks, 1.47 expected goals. So obviously creating the better chances, aren't they? Hull, coming off the back of a couple of wins, one against Stoke, one against Wrexham. Millwall, 1-1 draw against Derby, second half goals, I remember. They've had 4 consecutive 0-0s, all of the goals coming second half. So that could indicate they might come alive second half. 3-2 win against Southampton, a renewed Southampton, is a very impressive result as well. I was just interested in the in-play stats, really, as providing a little bit of value, but the expected goals is clearly with Hull. It doesn't matter how many shots you have on target, does it? It's the quality of those shots. And obviously, the quality is with Hull at the moment. Cardiff have conceded first, have they, against Donny? We're just missing out the scoreline there, but that could be of interest. Odds on favourite Cardiff against Doncaster. What league is that? English League One. So we'll head down, have a look at this one. Cardiff and Doncaster. We'll go and have a look there. So Millwall and Hull. Good afternoon. I'm back from the hospital, up and ready. Live stream is on. Hopefully we can pick out 1 or 2 plays today before I head back this evening. Interesting to see Millwall 0-2 down, but Hull's expected goals is superb, creating the better chances. 2 shots, 2 goals. I think it's a good opportunity very, very early on. 17 minutes to back Millwall at 7.8 and lay Hull at 1.48. Might get a tune out of Hull, Middlesbrough if we can get a goal for them before half-time. They've already had 12 shots to 2, 12 attacks to 2, 4 shots on, 1 off 2 corners, but the expected goals is clearly favouring Hull. They've created the better chances, only 2 chances, but they've been the better quality. That's why they're 2 goals up. So I'm hoping that Millwall can get back on the score sheet. They're coming off the back of a 3-2 win recently against Southampton at home, which really did catch the eye. So I remain hopeful there. It's a low risk entry point so early in the match. A 0-2 lead away from home. Can they sustain that, Hull? That's what I'm pinning my hopes on. 70 minutes to go. Millwall, if they can just get a goal before half-time, we can be up and running, and that will be excellent. Let's have a look at any more odds-on favourites. Cardiff and Donny. Have we got that match up? Cardiff and Doncaster. There it is there. So 1.73 home favourites. Keep an eye on them. No other matches of interest there. And a St. Pauli red card with Heidenheim beating Union Berlin 1-2 away from home recently. That could prove fatal for St. Pauli today. So we'll keep an eye on that St. Pauli match. No shots on target yet for Heidenheim. But are we going to see a reaction from Heidenheim? Could be possible. They're on a run of 2 consecutive wins in all competitions. Pity about not cashing out of this one. John H making the right move there. 58th minute. No strong opinion. Torino Cremonese. Bari. Just as with Panathinaikos. Look at that. Shots on target. None. And we're 11 minutes in. So had I laid the draw at half-time, I'd have been panicking a little now and would probably cash out. It's not an automatic, is it, that they will score? 2 shots off target. No corners, second half. So it's a poor candidate, isn't it? Unless you laid the 0-0 at half-time and then sat on it. So don't automatically lay these red-carded matches. You need to see a reaction, just as we're waiting to see a reaction here from Heidenheim. Bolton and Exeter, 1.37 favourites. Bolton are a goal down in English League One. Bring them up. The match is here. Is there going to be value 20 minutes in for a 1.39 favourite, a goal down? Are they worthy favourites? I don't know. I haven't been following the English League One. But Premier League, Championship, English League One. We can have a very quick look to see whether they're deserving. And bang goes my plan for a 0-0 at half-time, Chelsea and Everton. Difficult for David Moyes now to get the win. He needs clean sheets. And to be honest, the odds were about right, weren't they? 1.73 home favourite. So let's take a look at Bolton Wanderers and Exeter City. Why are Bolton very, very strong odds on favourites? Might have to do with the fact they have kept 4 clean sheets in 5 matches, but they do have problems scoring that second goal. 1-4-0-1-1 scored recently. It's all dependent, of course, where these two are in the league. Exeter away from home. Where's that second goal? Where's that second goal? I don't see it. So we might have a play here. No defeat in 9 at home for Bolton. 3 consecutive home clean sheets. No draw in 9 away for Exeter. Suggests we could leap straight towards the Bolton win. This is 5th against 20th in the league. Bolton against the bottom 4 have scored 2 goals minimum. Playing 5th bottom today. Can we infer that? Look at Exeter away from home. Where's that second goal? It's non-existent, is it? They've had 1, 2, 3, 4 1-0 defeats. So they are defensively sound, aren't they? It could frustrate Bolton today. They do most of their conceding, really, in the last 15 minutes. It could be a case of just falling apart last 15 minutes. Now, on paper, Bolton look very strong favourites. Are you going to get over evens? Do you trust Bolton today? Let's have a look at that one. Again, just be careful with the league. If we were dealing purely with our bankers, we'd have only had the 2 matches to look out for today. Hoffenheim and Atletico Madrid. But laying over 1.5 goals again. At 1.1, it's a little higher. We're 23 minutes in. So you could do that initially. And then just hope that it remains 0-1 for long enough for you to get even better odds against Bolton. 2 consecutive wins for Exeter. One of them must be in the cup, I would suggest. Indeed, against Wickham. And the other, a 1-0 win against Wimbledon. If they're not scoring that second goal away from home, there could be some problems. 3-0 win for Bolton against Bradford. Following, that was in the EFL Trophy. So let's have another look at the form lines. Just to give you any confidence or otherwise. Not conceded that second goal, have they, at home? Not scored that second goal away. Very, very tight. It could be a deliberate tactic for Exeter away against the big boys. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5 scorelines. Sorry, 5 out of 6 scorelines against the top 9 have been 1-0. So, yeah, that you'll definitely need your insurance. +1 is going to be far too skinny. That's pretty much pre-match odds. That's decent for such good form, but I wonder if we can trust this league. So, time and time again. First game back, and Arnold Palmer scores, says Michael. So, 2.24 to back, Exeter 3.8 to lay. You'll see a bit of a loss on the draw. That's typical when you've got a very, very strong favourite. So you're hoping for Bolton to do something today, but Exeter, it could be one for you delayers, this one. Exeter look very defensively minded. Let's just take a walk through our odds-on favourites at the moment, and Banach going all pear-shaped at the moment. Liverpool goal disallowed. There you go. Birmingham Coventry not get got going yet, we could do with Bristol City scoring. They did score 2 goals against Leicester City, 2 goals down recently. So let's hope they open the scoring. That would be fantastic. Millwall and Hull, good entry point for that lay of Hull. Keep your liability low. Very decent value after 15 minutes, 7-1. Bolton and Exeter, we're just pinning our hopes on the odds and hoping for a goal from Bolton early enough to get that. Well, the goals are coming early enough. And there's Cardiff equaliser against Doncaster. What a pity. Let's have a look. Yeah, well, the momentum rising, so we could have had a go at that one. Let's take a walk through. I think I'll take this off the watch list. I don't want to be tempted with 2 dodge pots. Bari, as you can see, no shots on target yet. We're now 15 minutes into the second half against 10 men. And in fact, the stats are absolutely similar. Sometimes an odds-on favourite won't be negatively affected. Won't be negatively affected. But here, 67th minute, and well, that goal has already come. So they've already taken advantage. Modena, we can get rid of that. Vejla and Viberg, obviously not up for the cup at all. But if over 2.5 goals is value, you could have a bit of a cheeky punt if you fancied it. Much better in the Danish Superliga for over 2.5 goals. Well, why not, eh? Why not indeed? 20 minutes to go. If we can see any of these 2 coming alive. But this is just purely for fun. It's not a strong shout. Far, far better in the Danish Super League for that old reliable pattern of over 2.5 goals. You saw it come in against Brøndby the other day or last weekend. Kayserispor, I think I can get rid of that one. Half time for Borussia Mönchengladbach. They're reverting to type, I'm afraid, having really, really impressed, but digger deep into the form, and it's not that hot, is it? 3 wins to 0 against the bottom 3 away from home. Eintracht Frankfurt and Augsburg should be a lay the draw. Second half, you can make sure by going here. Eintracht Frankfurt and Augsburg. Just check out the 0-0s for these 2 this season. First go, yeah, okay, we'll look to that one. So let's work our way down. Eintracht Frankfurt unbeaten against 9th and lower, home and away. Not conceded that second goal against 12th and lower, home and away. Augsburg, sole win has come against Freiburg. Did score 2 against Stuttgart, 3 against Freiburg, so they do have a goal or 2 in them. But no 0-0 this season for either side. That should augur well. But do these 2 have a good second half scoring record? Don't forget Freiburg at post-Europe. That could be their malaise today. Don't forget Augsburg took advantage of Leverkusen pre-Europe. About 50-50 with the conceding, and 64%. 64% of Frankfurt goals have come in the last second half, but 4 of them have come in the last 15 minutes. So we might have some action second half there. Neither side have had a 0-0 this season, so that does augur well. Oh, and the goals start a-flowing. Vejla, Viberg. It's just a bit of fun to see if these 2 can keep that pattern going. I don't know which of these 2 has scored first. If it's the away side, that would be better for over 2.5 goals, wouldn't it? We don't have the Vejla match up here. But I think we've got it up here. Well, Vejla have scored first. 2.45 the favourite. Got 1.41 expected goals for Viberg. just a bit of fun, isn't it? 2.5 goals. See if they can bring that one in. Bristol City scoring first against Coventry. That's a nice early Christmas present, I hope. If Frank's boys are up for it today. They have delivered at odds on whenever they've conceded first. So let's hope that that pattern will continue today. You see the red dot appearing, suggesting a goal is coming. So we will wait on that one with interest. So just get me vibration plate up. There we go. And these are our goals merchants. So the Liverpool match, well, no, just got a goal here. 2 goals here so far. These are to be coming later on. And this one I particularly like. Match results and both teams to score away. Side above 9. The amount of times it gets to a 3-0, 2-1, 3-0 kind of a scoreline is something I think we can work with. So today's teams would be Birmingham, Luton, Bolton, Stockport, Walsall, Gillingham, St. Pauli, Hanover, Getafe, St. Etienne later on. So I'll be updating these results. I'm particularly interested in this one. The amount of 3-0s, 3-1s. We've got to look at this 4-1 here, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. So I'm collecting these results. Just want to look for a pattern. A really value pattern that we can find. It looks like both teams to score, but then we've got a whole heap of 3-0s here. So the home team to score 2 or more goals could be an angle. The away team very rarely wins. And we're getting goal fests as well. 2-1s, 3-2s, 3 again, 3 again, 3+ again. So I've just got to find out how to exploit this. I know I did look at the 3-1s that were coming in quite frequently, and they are 20s or higher. 3-1, 3-1. But of course, all of this needs to be filled in as well. So some promise, and this is where I think we're going to find our 2.5 goal strategies from. So I remain hopeful with these. Just needs some time to update the results for you. Let's have a look at our odds on favourite list. Anything catching the eye? Well, that Bristol City goal looked to have just been a big chance, as they call them. Not really a goal, a big chance for Bristol City. Didn't eventuate. Would have been a nice angle. Peterborough, Northampton. Let's just make sure we follow that to see a reaction in English League One. So Peterborough, Northampton. We need to see a good reaction, and we're getting it from Peterborough, aren't we? That's more like it. You compare that with Bari. Compare that Peterborough with this Bari, and who would you rather be looking for? So I think Peterborough might have a shout here. So the risk reward, well, it's not quite 2-1, but you get the idea. With over 2.5 goal merchants, find some value. 1.04 lay. It's going to cost you nothing for the potential of a really big reward. Peterborough. Let's have a look. 4.7 for the draw. Half time. Totally and utterly woeful. Totally woeful market. Cardiff delivering at odds on. Can't play this at all. Can't play this at all either. Disappointing. Would have been a nice play. And look at this. Totally lacking any market forces as well. What a pity. That would have been the value angle in, wouldn't it, in this Peterborough match? But that's the problem with these lower tiers. Lack of liquidity in the half-time markets. You can see there, that's why I would have been interested 10 minutes is plenty enough time when you're dominating against 10 men. Got a real good chance of doing something there. The goals continue to come in. Cardiff odds on, coming from behind. Now, if you know these leagues better than me, then why don't you get involved when Doncaster score first? I'm a little more hesitant in these lower tiers. I don't know them as well as one or two of you might. And that's your opportunity to get involved. So let's have a quick look through our odds-ons again. Circle of Brugge. Sorry, it's just a very touchy website. Just have to touch it and they go straight into the details. So, well, a Liverpool goal just arrived, I suspect. Or has it been? Is there a problem with the data feed? Because that was showing 0-0 for a while. Ekatike, first minute. So the goal has just arrived. Mohamed Salah going off. Or replaced by Gomez. So he's getting still on the bench. Mohamed still on the bench. So let's just have a look at our odds-ons. Coventry, well, Bristol City, that any goal from Bristol City didn't stand, which was a pity because that would have been a decent angle in. Millwall, how are they progressing? Well, as I say, the better goals chances have gone to Hull and they have converted. But 0-2 is always a good entry point. Half-time team talk, I hope, will remind Middlesbrough and remind us that Middlesbrough are a second-half scoring side. 3 of their recent matches, though, they've only scored that single goal. We're hoping that they're going to come alive like they did against Saints on the 29th of November and get 3 second-half goals. That would be very good indeed. Get rid of Middlesbrough here. Coventry, pity about Bristol City's goal not standing. Bolton, good reaction, but just a single shot on target for them. Peterborough, gone a bit stale since the 29th minute, but this would be good if you can get 3s or lower, laying the draw second half. Hopefully Peterborough can take advantage. Still nothing from Bari. I think I'm going to take that off the watch list. We're going to keep an eye on the goals coming in. Odds on favourites, Circle of Brugge, have gone a goal down. So with any old odds-ons, we can monitor the match and see whether we'll get a reaction. We've got more goals popping in, none of great interest. So the thing with these Saturdays, you have to just make sure you don't get overwhelmed by playing every single one. That's why banker bets can be so fruitful. And the goals continue to pop in. Vejler and Freiberg, just a bit of fun there. As you can see, we got that single goal. Could have been better had it been from Viborg. Then you get Vejler reacting. Mönchengladbach, second half is beginning, but it's poor stuff. 0.04 expected goals. Awful. Needs vast improvement. But as a trader, John was quite right. And David confirms that Salah is on for Gomez. Maybe he's got a point to prove, Salah. That could change the complexion of the match. It would be a big stretch for me to imagine Frankfurt and Augsburg would end 0-0. I wonder if we can cover cheaply that 0-0 and then sit on it. Might be a bit hefty insurance wise. 10 quid though. If you laid the draw, it's just Difficult for me to imagine this finishing 0-0, but it is post-Europe for Frankfurt. So that's the negative element there. You can see Peterborough. That's why I wanted an interest in the half-time market, but just lacking liquidity. Hopefully Bolton can get a goal before half-time to get the market back on parity. Coventry is starting to wake up. We can check at half-time if they have a good second-half scoring attitude. Certainly coming from behind is where their motivation lies mostly for them. A red card for Viborg. I wonder if we'll see a second goal for Vejla. Could have done without a red card for Viborg. Could have done with a red card for Vejla to get Viborg interested and us up and running. Doesn't look like I'll be able to get this preview up. What a pity. I'll better get rid of that. I can show you some, if we have a quiet period, show you some of the apps that are in development at the moment. This is the best one. You'll see your daily reports coming from this particular app. And I've improved it with including Google's search data now. Oh no, this is going to be the new website. The new website is going to be an app, and it's going to have AI featured in it. So hopefully we can be all encompassing there, and that will be excellent for the new year. Another look through our odds-ons as we're getting to half-time. 0-0 Coventry and Bristol. Surely that's layable. Second half. Frank. Well, only a single goal against 10-man. Was it Preston midweek? Little disappointing, but that was away from home. Again, at odds-on favourite. They've got to do something for that particular match today. Looking for the Peterborough. If we can get that draw at 3s or lower, I would be looking to lay that second half. And Frankfurt and Augsburg, it's just a bit of a stretch to imagine a 0-0 full time. No 0-0 this season for either of these two. Heidenheim might take advantage. Oh no! The second goal for St. Pauli. Wow. Now that could be layable because Heidenheim scored 2 goals against Union Berlin away from home recently. So, yes, very interesting indeed. Now, Cercle Brugge 0-2, Mechelen. The joys of the lower tiers. That might see a half-time team talk. It's one of the scorelines I look for, a 0-2 for the underdog on or around half-time. St. Pauli and Heidenheim. Let's have a look at that one. St. Pauli and Heidenheim. Still lukewarm. That's because the red card is just keeping the odds higher than they would be normally for a 2-0 lead at home. But for me, it's worth a tickle. You've got a Heidenheim, I think, on 2 consecutive wins. We can have a quick look. The second goal could be a penalty or something, but if they can do what they did against, and it was unexpected against Union Berlin for Heidenheim, they weren't expected to get the win. Union Berlin were odds on, and they had scored first. So it's just, you can see this one here. Oh, very, very late. Schwimmer and Stoppner. Very, very late goals there. 58th minute. And Schwimmer again. So 90th minute. Ricky J. Jones as well, doing St. Pauli a favour, 90th minute. So, yes, we might have a play here if we get some decent short odds. Chelsea make it 2-0 against Everton, so the market quite right, 1.72. And, oh, you bleepers. That's what I wanted to do. Half-time play. Peterborough. But as you saw, we looked at the markets. There was nothing there. Couldn't get in. That's why I wanted it. Absolute dominance from the posh, as you saw. Oh, that's disappointing, isn't it? I wanted a half-time play. Compare that to Bari. Which one of those would you have played taking on the 10 men? Oh, that's disappointing, isn't it? We can get rid of the Chelsea match now. Really going day for Chelsea today post-Europe. Everton have been scoring 2+ goals, but not today with that clean sheets. Not today. St. Pauli and Heidenheim. Not seeing anything really from Heidenheim, but we weren't seeing anything from them against Union Berlin to suggest they would win. That's why it just has the touch of interest about it. But certainly, this is one for you to wait if it remains 2-0. We know Heidenheim have 90th minute goals in them. So anything, if we can get to the 80th minute at 2-0. And that'll give us a chance to look to see whether Heidenheim's momentum is rising. And then we can strike as late as possible. Post-Europe is the only woe for me about laying the draw here for Eintracht Frankfurt. Oh, disappointed with that. You saw us go to the markets, but you just didn't see anything, eh? There was just nothing on show for us to get involved in. Oh, man. Total and utter lack of liquidity. Right call. Wrong match, wrong league, really. Disappointing. Bolton are looking like they could do something, but problem scoring that second goal in the last 2 matches. They did score 3 against Bradford. We remain hopeful that they can get at least the next goal in this match today. Vettel and Viborg, bye-bye. Borussia Mönchengladbach, 0.05 XG, the story of their day today. And just a reminder to you that the challenge table can put the form into perspective, can't it? You can see, for example, St. Pauli's wins come against 13th and lower, and they're playing 16th today, so not a great surprise that they're leading. Heidenheim have not played the bottom 5 away from home, but they have been scoring against 13th, and that Union Berlin win as well just had me thinking they might be able to react to the red. But I'll play it by ear. We know they're a 90th minute side. So the longer we wait, the lower St. Pauli's odds, the lower our liability, and the better the return if we can get a result. Leicester took a 2-0 lead against Bristol City midweek and were pegged back twice. It's a 2.2 away favourite Ipswich, who away are not that bright. It took a 90th minute goal to get that 1-1 against Blackburn, and they got done late by Oxford United as well, when at odds on. So Leicester have that problem. You saw that 0-2 lead against Bristol City, 2 goals second half. They have that problem. You saw, well, they did score 2 in response to Sheffield United going 0-3 up at half-time, failing to score against Southampton. And 3 goals against Derby came in the first half. Keep an eye on Ipswich Town, coming off the back of that emphatic win against Coventry at home, which really stood out. Goals coming, that's just Fleetwood, so nothing of great interest there. Red cards, we can get rid of that one. Bari we know all about, absolutely hopeless. No point in trusting them. If you did lay the draw there, well done. You've got the template now for how to lay the draw. Dave says that the Coventry stats are good. Let's confirm that. 2 shots on, none second half. Well, we haven't started the second half yet. 8 shots off target, 2 corners. Reasonable enough, Dave. They have been the dominant force, and we can have a look. If you go to somewhere like Bet Explorer, you can actually look at how teams have performed at certain odds. If they're showing English League One, that would be excellent. So you can have a look at Coventry's recent performances at odds on. How have they got on? Show more matches. So every time they've been odds on, 1.74. We've got a 2-2, but this is, I wonder what's going on here, because it's all, it must be head-to-head. Sorry, we don't want to see head-to-heads. We want to see all matches recently. Here we go. Latest results. So you can change this to all results. Then you can have a look at how they perform at odds on. Similar odds today. 1.46, getting a 3-1 win. Similar odds to today, coming from behind to win against West Brom. Similar odds to today, at home, 3-1 win against the Blades. Similar odds to today, 3-1 against Watford. So it's got a good record, or they have a good record. 44, 76 minutes Sims Ellis. So that's something in your armoury if you want to look at how teams perform when they're quoted at odds on. Go to betexplorer.com. That could give us a good indicator for laying the draw second half, couldn't it? Simple as that. Eintracht Frankfurt, very, very quiet. This is post-Champions League malaise written all over it, doesn't it? And having said that, it's probably their goal, is it? No, Telstar, one of our shortlisters today, I think. Yeah, 1.55. So that's going over 2.5 goals as per expectation. It's a very, very good over 1.5 goal record for these 1.6s and lowers, particularly if you wait 20 minutes. So that could be the technique. As I say, I've got some time allocated to these bet and goes. And if they deliver, if the analysis from AI delivers, I'll be passing on the data to you, and you can have yourself a good chance at a regular reward. And that sums up Mönchengladbach for today. So John H getting out of jail by eating his greens today. A very good decision there. 1.6 Cercle Brugge and Mechelen. It's one of the lower tiers. We can have a look at Belgium. So, Coventry City, Eintracht Frankfurt. It would be a surprise for me if these ended 0-0. And there's your third goal for the half. I told you the half at 1.67. Second consecutive time they've scored 3 goals. They're just brilliant. And we got a goal back from Heidenheim. Did I lay St. Pauli? I was umming and ahhing. Oh, man. I should follow my instinct here. Because that was up at 27s, wasn't it? Or something stupid like that. Up at 27s. So I hope you laid 1.2 to lay St. Pauli, and something like 20s or 25s or something stupid like that to back Heidenheim. Now look at the effect of that single goal. And I've been calling these, well, these gut instinct ones, I call them, not really based on strong form lines or anything, but just an instinct, given that 2-1 win against Union Berlin away from home. Now that could be a possible play. But you're missing the value now. The value was in that 2-0. Laying over 3.5 goals, a little bit high, and then going match odds, backing Heidenheim, laying St. Pauli. You might get a good run for your money. Or laying over 3.5 goals, backing St. Pauli, +1. Sorry, Heidenheim, +1. But the red card's going to make sure that those odds are not as high as they should be. Up to you if you wanted to play with that goal returned. It's risky because your insurance is very high, but the rewards. Now we've got a goal under our belt. Hopefully they'll do what they did against Union Berlin and at least get a second. And as you can see, had I done this at 20s, of course, far better value. So I hope one or two of you have looked at that 1.2 and the 20s and thought, why has he not put this forward? Why is he not taking action on this? I'm going to take action. Why hasn't he? So do please go off on your own if the argument's compelling enough for you. Coventry and Bristol City, absolute standout at 0-0, isn't it? Similar story. Eintracht Frankfurt, absolute standout at 0-0 as well. But post-Europe for Frankfurt, that could be the reason for the malaise. Don't forget Panathinaikos, Atletico Bilbao 0-0 midweek. It doesn't mean it's going to end with a goal, does it? Everything can align, but if you're not seeing the shots on target and off target, none. Second half, none. Second half. None of these two have not had a 0-0 this season, but it's what happens today that counts, doesn't it? And look at that sudden rise in momentum for Heidenheim. I just hope that continues. And then we can see a 2-2 quickly enough, because that's a bit of a hit to take at 1-2. So this is just to illustrate for you, I think. Possibility, if you want to aim for the big bucks, you have to make, or you have to risk a little bit more if you want to aim for the really big dough. The bigger your liability, the bigger your reward. But the bigger your liability, the bigger the drop, of course. So walking my way through, I think we can say ta-ra to Mönchengladbach. Quite clearly, the challenge table is important in deciphering recent form, isn't it? Frankfurt, no shots on target second half. We need to see something happening. This looks like a very even Stevens match. There's a rise in momentum here. Rise for the other side. Rise again. Rise for the other side. No one side is absolutely dominating. The shots on and off target are non-existent. Shots on target, non-existent second half. Shots on target, 1-2. And this is after 21 minutes into the second half. Corners, no corners. So where is the major action areas taking place? Well, you can infer they're taking place middle of the pitch, or without any real pressure. Absolutely nothing showing from these two. Maybe. Well, there you go. Maybe a penalty could change that, and that could be a penalty. What do you do, eh? If you're looking at the stats, neither of these two have had a 0-0 this season. So yes, laying the draw, great idea, but nothing showing at all. Shot on target equals goal. Fair enough. So how would you have played it? I was too hesitant here, but on seasonal form, and Mr. Doan beats the keeper and increases the team's tally. So it's a goal from open play, and it's going the way of the stats, not the in-play stats. So it's a tricky one because you've got Europe to worry about as well. But those of you who followed the stats, neither side having a 0-0 this season. Maybe 75th minute could have been a good entry point, couldn't it? Given Frankfurt's scoring late on. 4 goals, I think it is, in the last 15 minutes. Maybe that's a good balance for you to get involved when they score the most goals. But they've just come 8 minutes or 9 minutes, 7 minutes too early. Oh, disappointing. But I'm in two minds there. The second half stats not showing a thing, are they? But seasonal stats are saying neither of these two have a 0-0. And Augsburg always gettable when their opponent is odds on. We've got a suspended market, one of our matches of interest. The mighty Hoff. God bless them. Mönchengladbach deciding to show up. Wolfsburg goal disallowed. Mönchengladbach deciding to show up with 18 minutes to go. Interesting. Well, they do have 3 goals in the locker, don't they? Are they waking up all of a sudden from their malaise? I might have a chance to escape with my dough that I didn't get out on. So I can get out with half of my dough back. But they are 3-goal heroes. Do they have anything in them? So St. Pauli looking for that 2-2 from Heidenheim. 20 minutes to go is long enough if they can do what they did against Union Berlin. But they only really balance out at 2 goals maximum, don't they? So that's a slight concern. But it's all about the timing of that second goal. But that was a dangerous play. Such a big liability. I just wanted to illustrate to you, if you wanted to take a bigger risk, get £176 possibility on Heidenheim, you have to take a higher liability play. Leicester and Ipswich. Well, you're not seeing anything from Ipswich Town today. They're not very good away from home with that second goal. Leicester, though, did let a 2-goal haul go away at Bristol City midweek. So that's going to be smarting for them. Bad day for Mönchengladbach, isn't it? Goal disallowed. So they'll be smarting a little, Leicester. We'll have a look second half, see if Ipswich are up for it. They are slightly favourite today. They really took Coventry to town. Cardiff and Doncaster 2-2. Well, the value was in that lay of a Doncaster lead at 14 minutes in, and then the 2-1 to Cardiff. Keep an eye on it, I suppose, but it's lower tier stuff. We're already involved here, but the story of the first half is Millwall's poor expected goals, despite 4 shots, and Coventry and Hull's far better expected goals, despite only 2 shots at the time. But they were quality chances, and they were taken. Coventry and Bristol City, let's just check the second half scoring record. It should be good, but they were a bit poor against 10 men midweek. Coventry, that's the only thing. But they saying that with Eintracht Frankfurt, and they've just got the goal as well. If the draw is anything like 3s or lower, I'd be quite happy to lay it. So let's have a look. Last glints. So we go all the way down to the goal times, all the way down here. Well, look at the challenge table first. Top of the league, mid-table, chock full of goals. But are they coming second half? Do they have a good second half scoring record? Home for the home side, away for the away. So it looks like the half-time team talk from Frank really does make a difference. It's 50-50, so that augurs well. Dave is quite keen on Coventry. Bristol City's away conceding rate, only 4 goals conceded away second half. So they are a tough nut to crack on the road. 2 0-0s at half time at home. None at full time. 1 at full time. 2 0-0s at half time away, 1 at full time. So you've got a 50% record. Scored 2 goals at least in 6 consecutive home matches. But away from home, they were pretty poor against Preston. 10-man Preston at that. Bristol City struggle to score that second goal against the big boys, don't they? 0-0 against Preston is a slight concern. 3rd in the league away from home. But 10th, 3-3-3-3-3. against mid-table sides. We can look, if we want to really dot the I's and cross the T's, only the 1 second half goal. 2 second half goals. 2 second half goals. Only the 1 second half goal was a penalty, and that was to the opponent. 2 second half goals there. So, and that's disappointing, isn't it? We had this nailed, but we just couldn't pull the trigger in the first half. Oh, man. It would have been a nice reward as well, because we would have been getting involved post 37th minute, I think it was. So Coventry really should be a lay the draw second half. Well, let's have a look. Draw is at odds of 3.2. I'll see if I can get threes or lower. Laying over 0.5 goals. Well, if you think Bristol City, who have been a bit tight against the top side, might want to just see whether Coventry will struggle as they did against Preston, 10-man Preston. I think the goal that was scored against 10-man Preston was an own goal as well. So there might be some malaise there, but they are normally very, very reliable 3-goal heroes against mid-table sides. So we'll look on that one with interest. Heidenheim could do with that momentum continuing, couldn't we? Get that 2-2, but I got the 2-1 covered. 15 minutes, see whether they can get their 2 90th minute winners, which would be very nice indeed. Got the lower tier Scotland covered. I don't think we'll be playing that today, so we don't need the dings to be coming in from any of these. Goal back for Cercle Brugge. So those of you playing that 0-2, which is mentioned at the website, 0-2 half-time lead against an odds-on favourite with home advantage, bang, that's your goal back there. Goals are flowing. And 3-0 to Middlesbrough. We don't need to be following that one up anymore. So I've got the 0-0 covered, Coventry. Now you're going to see them score 2 very quick goals. And off we go. Bristol City did score, but they had a goal disallowed. 48th minute shot on target for Bristol City. 48th shot off target for Bristol City. 48th minute corner for Bristol City. So just starting off brightly earlier on. So Cercle Brugge, 1.6 home favourites, 2 goals down. It's a good entry point, isn't it? If you played. It's a 0-2 lead for an underdog away from home on or around half time. It's always going to get you a low liability entry point, and if they pull off the win, as you saw with St. Pauli, we should have really backed Heidenheim at 20s, shouldn't we? Laid St. Pauli at 1.2s. That's your value angle in there. Real Valladolid, odds on favourite today. Mallorca against Elche, don't have a strong opinion on that one. Neither did the market. 2.5 the favourite pre-match. Not one you fancy. Odds on favourite Livingston, 1.85 a goal. 2 goals down to Dundee. But I don't think Scotland, a bit like that Peterborough match, just lacking the liquidity we need really to have a decent play. So just clean up a few of these. Telstar, one of our over 2.5 goal plays today. Goal up against NEC Nijmegen. NEC, 2.15 away favourites, starting brightly. Typical typical Eerste Eredivisie play. So we'll just clean up a few of these. 3-0 to Leicester. So I did play Leicester 2-0 up. Ipswich not showing anything. And look at this, Mechelen making it 1-3. Just not showing, is it? Bolton. Are we going to get a goal from Bolton? 104. Looking good. Can they get us that goal? Because we could do it with it by the hour mark. So we can bring into play that potential for the win, because it's a bit of a loss on the draw currently if they get it, make it 1-1. Desmond Tutu coming in Cardiff. Nothing doing there yet. Heidenheim could do with that 2-2. Now, Leicester did concede 2 goals against Bristol City second half away at Bristol City. It's certainly a very low entry point. 52 minutes in as well. So I've got nothing to lose. I'm looking at they're conceding 2 goals. So they obviously have some struggles in this. It's going to cost you nothing. So just a token play there. And just a 50p back at 130s. We'll get you over the £100 marker. And that will get you moving. And you've got nothing to lose, quite simply. If we can get a 3-1 for Ipswich early enough. They were pre-match favourite. 0.66 expected goals. 2 consecutive wins now for Ipswich. But away from home, not the sharpest tools in the box. But playing the potential that Leicester's defence is a bit wobbly. With a recent goals from Southampton against them and Bristol City's 2 goals against them in the second half in the last match. So it's a low risk play in a day without many solid chances at all. Still no second half plays. I've got that 0-0 covered, Coventry and Bristol City. So every second it remains 0-0, I'm getting a lower lay of the draw. So this is starting, it's gone from 1.2 to 1.27. I can do a full liability lay of the draw at any point. I get lower. The lower the odds, the bigger the return. But you'll have to balance it. Are they going to score early? Starting to rise the momentum again. And it's this is the 3rd point they've been at similar momentum. Can we get that breakthrough? I'll pass on Bolton and Exeter in case... well, I just want to see if there's a +1 element to cover the draw. It could be one of those like Watford the other day. Brilliant, but making it 1-1 late on and not really delivering. Bolton +1. Still, market's not budging, is it? Laying over 1.5 goals, 1.33. We've laid here. Did we get involved? Yes, we did already. What a pity. Having laid like that initially, we could have got even better odds about not lob, as Monty Python would call them. +1. Well, it's up to you. If you see that as a decent enough return, £24, but you'd have had to got involved there because your insurance now would be all the way up to 13 from £3.60. That's why I try to nip in straight away, even if I'm not going to play. Get in straight away at its lowest odds possible, and then you can always sit on it if it's not going your way. Bradford won. NEC Nijmegen. Well, that was deserved, wasn't it? 4 shots on, 4 shots off target for NEC. Pity I didn't play that one. It's just the league, not really grabbing the attention, is it? So what are we going to do? Well, we can get rid of these 2 matches. Bit too late now. Heidenheim. This could be one for a 90th minute play if you didn't play earlier on. There's been a 90th minute goal in St. Pauli's last match. Heidenheim's win against Union Berlin, 2 90th minute goals. So I would put up a lay of about 1.15 for members on Telegram, I think, of St. Pauli. Smash and grab against 10 men. It has some potential. Drip laying as well is a possibility for you, but I would do drip laying. I would start with a £5 here at 1.25. That would cost you £1.25. £5 at 1.19 cost you 95p. Fiver at 1.14 cost you 70p. 1.09, I would move it up, maybe a tenner or 11 quid, keep it under a quid. 1.06, and you can really bang that up to 17 quid. That way, a bit like Dinamo Zagreb last week, where we needed that result. I was waiting for 109, 106. If you would have started there like 1.25, drip laying to win a fiver here and there, or whatever you'd like, you could double it to a tenner. Your liability is going to be the same as if you're laying at 109, 106. And here we go. Look, is this a 2-2? Is this a 2-2? Is it a St. Pauli penalty? I don't know. We will soon find out. Is it a 2-2? Let's wait and see. That's Grazia and Linz. Newport County red, so we don't need to be following them anymore. Is it handbags at 6 paces? I don't know. So we get rid of these. Red card has already affected Newport. Anything doing? Why is it market suspended? In Germany. Oh, Augsburg Lake equaliser against Frank. Oh dear. But if you did lay the draw, of course, that's your out. The favourite scoring the goal. Nothing showing here, red dot or anything for the suspension. Could be an injury. Unsportsmanlike, could be a yellow card. Probably that yellow card, I would suspect. But this is where, at least previously, suspenders again. Is it handbags? We will wait and see. I would put forward probably for members at 1.1 or lower, given the 90th minute goals these two have been having of late. Gillingham and Barrow. Coventry awfully quiet. Only 2 shots on target though. Starting to motor. They did show this against Preston and only managed, I think it was an own goal. Having laid over 0.5 goals, the draw odds are getting shorter and shorter. As long as we avoid a score draw, we will clean up. Let's have a look. That's obviously been a goal that's been disallowed for Bristol City earlier on. Or something has happened. Can't really see the true odds there. Fairbot chart showing 2.52. So we will look with interest. That's the weight of money there. The longer we wait, the lower the odds. So how much would I make now if I laid the draw now? Up to 26. So it's getting better and better, but I'm flirting with the possibility of Coventry scoring, aren't I? Just flirting with it there. 0.98. 12 shots off target. Constantine had pressure from Coventry, but only the 2 shots on target is a concern. This is the highest momentum they've been all match as well. They normally get 3 goals against mid-table sides, but I was a little concerned with that underperformance against 10-man Preston. The last match they played. It was a little disappointing. Talking of disappointing, Millwall haven't turned up, have they? Where's the blue line? Absolutely nothing doing. I got 0-2 covered. I've got 1-2 covered. So I'm okay as things stand. Just got to make sure Hull don't keep producing those decent shots or decent expected goals. St. Pauli will be looking for a potential plunder. This is when, as you can see, the momentum rising now. Heidenheim, when they start scoring as they did against Union Berlin. So let's have a quick look. I would put that forward for members, I think. St. Pauli have had a 90th minute goal in their last match. Heidenheim coming from 1-0 down with two 90th minute winners against Union Berlin away from home in one of their two consecutive wins. St. Pauli red card. Their odds are very layable now, 1.17 or lower if you fancy a quick Heidenheim smash and grab. There's a Coventry goal. Oh man, I didn't pull the trigger. At what was it, 2.52? Would have made me 26 quid there, as long as this stays. So that's disappointing. 63rd minute goal for Coventry. That was their first shot on target in the second half. That's the balance you have to weigh up. Getting a bit greedy, wasn't I? Should have got in there. That would have been a very nice play. So if Dave followed his instinct, he looked at the Coventry stats, they were quite good. You can see the draw odds have risen markedly now from, 2.5 up to 6s. That's very nice indeed. What a pity. Just waiting that 1 minute too long. Look at Heidenheim. Can they get us a 2-2 at least? That would be an excellent result if they can pull that one out of the fire. 2 quick goals would be fantastic, wouldn't it? 7 shots on, 10 off, 13 off, 119. That would be excellent. I can get rid of that now. That's disappointing, that. Oh. Should have got involved, really. Quite a decent return, given their ability to score 3 goals against these mid-table sides. I shouldn't be getting that greedy, should I? In all honesty. Looks like Ipswich, well, they're not going to land a blow just yet. They're far, far better at home, as you saw against Coventry, than they are away. Pinning my hopes a little on that 2-goal capitulation. But when you're getting involved at very short odds like that, well worth your attention. Bolton got that 0-1 covered still. 2 shots on target, only the 1 second half, 11 shots off. Momentum risen and then dropped like a stone. Welcome to English League One. Now, had we been working just with our bankers today, it would be a different story, wouldn't it? Let's just bring up, or did we get the bankers up here? Let's have a look at the bankers today. Hoffenheim, your first banker. Atletico Madrid, your second banker. Coventry getting a goal, your third banker. A very limited number of matches, but you can see the quality of the sides involved. And this takes away all of the heading off here, there, and everywhere, doesn't it? And that would have had me more focused on Coventry and perhaps laying that draw straight away second half, rather than trying to get Millwall to come back from 2 goals down and Bolton in English League One to show their true worth at 1.42. Focusing on the bankers, and we'd have got that goal as well for Coventry, wouldn't we? That should be 1-0 there, because that's wrong. That hasn't updated. So it's a lesson for you there. That's why I do that bankers list. If you wanted to focus solely on that, it will limit your entry points, but it will provide you with quality candidates throughout, won't it? Just pure quality, rather than this lot. Look, 1.6 Cercle Brugge getting done by Mechelin. That will save you your dosh for these particular days. And it will save you Mönchengladbach as well. I didn't have them as a banker bet today either. So it's something for you to think about. That's why I keep doing the bankers on the YouTube videos. If that's a way for you to trade, you'll be getting far, far better candidates than trying to eke out a reaction from the likes of Millwall, despite them showing decent enough stats. It'll also keep you away from the Premier League today, which was a little bit predictable with the odds-on favourites today. far greater performance from Liverpool. But it's very rare, very rare for Brighton not to get on the score sheet, but I'm not going to be laying Liverpool 2-0 up. Famous last words, of course, because they have capitulated so often. It's unreal. So nothing much doing as we're going to 4:30. Well worth a late play, even with these kind of stats as you see here. 91. Suddenly got going at the end. That's a goal for Charlton Athletic. And it ends 2-1 St. Pauli and Heidenheim. Bolton Wanderers have a goal back. It's you're stuck now because it's the midpoint of the second half. We're not going to be seeing a green. We're going to be seeing a small loss. Just wait for the market to tidy itself up. £3.60 liability, very decent indeed. 3.04, £3.40. So you're effectively break even now. Now, are you willing to take the 13 quid hit on the draw for the chance of £31 on Bolton? That is the question. Or are you going to green up and just say it's not been the day for favourites today, has it? Certainly, Exeter's liability can be controlled at this point. You can negate that while keeping that 12 quid loss. That's going to take a hefty amount off. And that's going to be even worse, isn't it? So that's not worth doing, is it? Awful stuff. That's the problem. It's a 70th minute goal. You're going to have to either bite your tongue and go in and wait for the potential winner. Now they've got ahead of the game. And get rid of that one there. Millwall, well, it's all a story of a lack of chances, lack of quality chances. Shouldn't really have played, but it's a low entry point at 0-2 up. So early on as well, 14 minutes. I thought there'd be a reaction from an odds-on favourite at home, but no. Bolton, that's their only shot on target since the 49th minute. Can they get that second shot to get us a profit there? Just tidy up some of these. Nothing much doing. Motherwell, again, are they on our bankers list? You know what the answer is? Nowhere near. So your next banker would be Paris Saint-Germain against Metz, bottom of the league, Metz. Or Barcelona next against Osasuna. 3-goal Barcelona. Possibility of 2 or 3 goals before half-time for Barcelona as well. We've got a goal coming in. We've got a goal back from Ipswich. Is that going to wake them up? Is it going to wake them up? 1.04 lay of Leicester. Ipswich at 130s. What odds are they going to be now at 3-1 with 20 minutes to go? Let's see. Well, we're pretty much... Has it stood? Has that goal stood? The market's still not convinced. But once it becomes 3-2, maybe the market will be convinced. 20 minutes to go. This lot know they conceded 2 goals recently. Second half against Bristol City. Ipswich don't normally get that second goal away from home. That's the slight concern there. We can get rid of Cercle Brugge. No go today for Everton. They need clean sheets to get wins. And a going day for Liverpool. But anything showing from Brighton? Not really. Well, 1.65 XG. They've been creating enough decent chances. And the Liverpool momentum has dropped a tad. but just the one shot on target 14 minutes ago. 14th minute, 67th minute was the last shot off target. 4 shots on, 12 off for Liverpool. Last shot off target was some 11 minutes ago. Only the 2 corners. Really low corner count today. Again, given Liverpool's woeful performances, are they layable? Brighton, 2 goals against Nottingham Forest away from home, failed to score against Crystal Palace. Just a single goal at home to West Ham. Defensively stout West Ham. Really good performance against a really solid Aston Villa, but Aston Villa did them by half-time. 2-0 up, Brighton were there. Liverpool, as you know, totally untrustworthy. Look at the Leeds match. 0-0 at half-time. 3 goals second half, but they conceded a single goal against Sunderland as well. We need them to be conceding 2 goals regularly, enough to get us a play. But it's a low odds play if you fancied it. No corners is very telling indeed, isn't it? So we're waiting on Bolton to see if they can cross the line to get us a result there. No major losses today yet, but Millwall XG is the story of this match. Anything doing in our odds-on favourite list? Let's have a look. Work our way down. And we've got, well, Birmingham. We can have a look at the English Championship. Birmingham. 20 minutes to go is reasonable enough if they're going to be playing like 1.47 favourites. We need to have a look at Birmingham. 4 shots on, 13 off, and 6 corners at 1-1. Wow, Cardiff and Donny, that could be one to just bring up. It's been a bit of a humdinger. So the Leicester match, you could get your liability back, couldn't you? Oh, sorry. Yeah, at the 3-1. But it's not worth it, is it? Well worth looking to see if we can get that 3-2 before the 80th minute. That would rise hugely. And then we could have some fun. Cardiff, Desmond, 3-3. It's been such a competitive match. They've had to come from behind and then lead, Cardiff. So just wait for this to settle down. It is not the best league on the planet, but there could be another winner there. This is a Chuckle Brothers match. To me, to you, to me, to you, to me, question mark, to you. We will have a look. 3-3, obviously both sides looking for that win. Very, very competitive match, that one. So look on that possible late lay the draw there. I like 3-3s, competitive 3-3s like that. Both sides spreading the goals as well, and you're getting a good set of goals in the second half as well. Any other odds-on favourites who are not particularly performing? Well, Coventry, I missed the lay the draw there. That would have been wonderful. I would have got myself 20 odd quid there just to put myself into the green. It would have been, and indeed that Mönchengladbach would have got me into the green as well. Middlesbrough, we don't need to follow. Well, Millwall, not the strongest favourites on the planet at these kind of odds, are they? And they're not on our bankers list either. Any other of these odds-on favs? I think we got, yeah, that's the right list. That 3-3 looking interesting. 1.62 home favs. Luton Town as well, similar odds against Port Vale. And Peterborough, again, had we had liquidity, that would have been another profitable play to add to the tally today, particularly going into the half-time market, looking for that 1-0, 2-0, which I normally like to do in a half-time score market. But you saw it, didn't you? Totally and utterly lacking liquidity. So we're kind of hitting the post and the crossbar today. Frustrating. Any other odds-ons delivering or not delivering? Apple Haifa, well, we don't need to be focusing on that. Catanzaro 20 minutes in at 1.71. So it's really that 3-3 and perhaps that Luton 2-2. So I'll bring the Luton match up as well to have a look at that one. See whether there's a late winner. Both of these are 1.62 home favourites. That's English League One as well. So we'll bring up Luton Town just in case there's a late plunder on that one. Luton Town. Luton Town. Where are you? Luton and Port Vale. Decent enough XG for Port Vale. That's deserving of that 2-2. That's when they scored their goal, when they were dominating the momentum and rising the momentum. Have we got a goal in the 3-3 or the 2-2? Well, we will soon find out. Where's that 3-3 gone? I'm just trying to find it again. Cardiff and Donny. Should be up here. I'll have to find it again. There it is. So a couple of these ones you could plunder late on. Good enough stories. 2 second-half goals, 2 first-half goals. That's what I like to see with Desmond's. And we've got 2 second-half goals, majority of them first-half goals. But decisive goals for both. One of them the lead, one of them the draw. And Wrexham and Watford, well, that's not a banker bet. Millwall red card, so that pretty much does for the Lions today. So Bolton. It's frustrating, isn't it? 70th minute goal. Now we're going to have to take a loss on the draw, having called it correctly. Disappointing, because the +1 wasn't there. +1 was far too skinny. So we're calling it right. Maybe in future, I don't know, correct score play. 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, that kind of a thing. You can see it's they're coming in bursts. Up, then down, up, down, up, getting the goal. Now they're down again. Are they going to have one late flurry to get the late winner? They will be bitterly disappointed if they don't get the win today at home at these odds. Exeter 1-0 win against Wimbledon, but they normally capitulate away from home. Look at Luton, 4 goals. Leyton Orient scoring 2 second-half goals as well. Luton, a second-half goal. Well, I like to hear the word suspended, but is it? Are these our matches? We've got a goal back from Millwall, turning up at last. Too little, too late, maybe. Thank you, Bolton. Thank you so much. Not lob. Fabulous stuff. So, great. We're not going to be losing this anymore. And this. So, good stuff. As you know, John H showed you, eat your greens, because the drop is only marginal. It's about £3 drop for the insurance. It's not the greatest profit in the world, is it? But when you can back a 1.3 favourite at home at odds of 2.24 and lay their opponent, who are normally going to be double figures or 6s or 7s, lay them at 3.8. That's just a nice Brucey bonus, isn't it? Take your £3 insurance premium. And yeah, we're up and running with the Lions. No one likes them, but they don't care. I've got the 1-2 covered. So I would be quite happy for this to end 1-2. To be honest, because, well, I'll be losing this. I'll be losing both teams to score no, which is John H's excellent idea for covering 0-2s, 0-1s, 0-3s, 0-4s. Brilliant, brilliant idea. Thinking outside the box there, superb. You could nail this with a £23 green, and you could say, I'm just going to get out with a marginal loss. Or, as you can see, we're going to pretty much make just a marginal gain on the draw. We're looking really for that 164 to get to work. But the goal's coming far too late. Even after the red card, that's why as well, it's probably a good idea to do a Garrett and bail out of this one. But I've got the 1-2 covered as long as Hull don't turn up. It's all dependent on who was red carded. If it's could be a centre back, they could cope with that. Centre midfielder, they might be able to cope with that as well. Looking late on, well, we're not going to be laying Liverpool, even though they might capitulate late on. Birmingham, odds-on favourite, not really showing any momentum, or are they? Starting to rise 60s. 5 shots on target, 14 off, 9 corners. Cardiff and Donny will be a late lay the draw, that's for sure. Can we get a second goal from Millwall? That could have been a penalty given their red card. I wonder if it was or not. Home fans will be getting excited. And Maku getting the goal against after Aziz was red carded. Femi Aziz, midfielder. Can they cope? Not as impactful as your main striker being red carded, is it? If they can just control that midfield, we might see that 2-2. But I'm hoping this remains 1-2 for us to get an effective break even here. I could get out here, take a 25 quid profit and a £6 net loss. So it's salvageable. That's the beauty of this 0-2, 1-2, which I quite like. But the red card, of course, you never know what will happen once that red card arrives. Bradford make it 2-0. Nothing of interest there. Well done, Bolton. So you please cash out of your Bolton play if you did that one. We can get rid of that. Crawley and Oldham. Few Desmond 2-2s coming in. If you get a whole load of Desmond 2-2s, you might want to start drip laying them. You saw the other day, we had, what was it, a whole host of them, about 5. I think in a quick succession, 3 of them ended. It's just playing the probability of these 2-2s all finishing 2-2s. It's a bit of a stretch to think that will happen. Suspenders. Is it a 2-2 for Millwall and Hull? I hope not. I hope it's not a 1-3 for old Rod. It's another 2-2, Gillingham and Barrow. Crawley Town, Blackpool. Goodness me. Desmond 2-2 is in the building today. That's for sure. All in the English League 2 though. And then you've got the Luton Town 2-2. You've got the Blackpool 2-2, Barnsley 2-2. So just out of interest. And you've got a Livy 2-2. Just out of interest, I'm going to ping these and see how many of these finish 2-2. So we've got a specific sound now for these. It would be a good one if you started laying each one maybe at... I know they could all end 2-2, but the probability of it happening is pretty high, isn't it? So I wonder if my little theory... How many of these dings are we going to hear between now and the 90th minute? Okay. An interesting experiment, something you can bring in to your next trading session. If you see a whole concerted number of 0-0s, for example, late on, are they all going to really finish 0-0? Can you start drip laying those draws and start picking up any? You only need a couple of these to come in, and you can cover your liabilities at the very least. So we will look on with interest. Far too many 2-2s. And if you hear these pings, then that means they're going to start ending. Valladolid, odds-on favourite in Secunda, 1.53, delivering like odds-on. Do you want to lay the draw there? We can have a quick look. Spanish Secunda. They're probably going to be up near the top. Real Valladolid have been in the Primera Liga, haven't they? If you see this, fear not. Go back. Go up here to matches. And then go via the matches. Go down to Valladolid. Try again. we should get a separate page up. Scroll down to the Valladolid match against Andorra. Possibility of laying the draw here. Quick look. Conceded in the last 7 at home, so a bit wobbly. No win in 10. Doesn't mean they're not drawing Andorra. As you know, as we did with that previous match, your first port of call is here. Valladolid at home. 76th minute looks to be where you could target the first goal. You saw it with Frankfurt, didn't you? Look at this for Andorra. That could suggest laying that draw second half, couldn't it? 4-0 at half-time away, none at full-time. 1-0 at half-time at home, 1 at full-time. So that, to me, is more interesting. 100% rate. If you want to confirm even more, challenge table. If we can find it. Valladolid are 8th. How do they get on against 19th and lower? Well, they've only played 2 of them. 1-0, 1-0 loss. So they struggling a little. Ding! That's your first ding. That's your first Desmond Tutu ding. And bang goes our dreams with Millwall. I should have got out, as you see, at the 1-2. Really, I should have with that red card. My mistake. Should have got out with that 20 plus profit and a £6 net loss there. Millwall and Hull. I hope you did yourself. That's your first Desmond. How many more are we going to see? See that red card. Should have got out at the 1-2. Take that gift of the 1-2 rather than going straight to 0-3. Get out then. You saw the profit. 23 odd quid. My mistake there because I'm flitting all over the place. Looking at the here, there and everywhere. So that's your first Desmond in the bag. How many more are we going to see as we enter the final knockings? Time is not on our friend. I think Valladolid might be a lay the draw for me at some point. But again, check the timings of the goals. Only the 1 shot on target second half suddenly changes your complexion. 5 shots off target second half. Just the one and then the momentum going down. So that looks wonderful, doesn't it? 15 shots, but then suddenly nothing. Zip. So any enthusiasm I had has waned markedly there. So that's the first Desmond coming in. We're going to be seeing any more of them. Any more dings for any more dings. It's a bit of an ask because we're entering the 89th plus minute on pretty much every single one of these matches. But that's your first ding in the Barnsley one. If you can get to 1.2 or lower about these lay the draws, then just need a couple of them to come in and we can be up and ready. So we will see. Anyone can add to that Barnsley 3-2. Just waiting with interest. Certainly Cardiff I would look at myself. That should have been cleaned out, that liability. The draw is still relatively high for this Cardiff match. Any other Desmonds? You've got the Blackpool match. You can have a look at that one. So that's Cardiff. Blackpool. That's a bit better. So just out of interest, see how many of these will come in. Telstar and Nijmegen might get a reaction from NEC Nijmegen, who did come from behind previously. Looking in pretty good form. Parma and Lazio. I'd be favouring Lazio today, although the market doesn't. You can see quite clearly NEC might have a chance to come back in this one. And that 2-1 before St. Pauli, I did a similar thing. I got a break even, didn't I? Because I covered the 2-1. So that was good. We had the opportunity for a late winner. But this looks like an aberration for Telstar. I wonder if it's worthy of my attention. Can you imagine if you can get all of these Desmonds at these odds and just one or two of them come in? That's a really good return, isn't it? No, any seeing have come from behind already. And the market's expecting more goals here. So I'm going to have a go at this myself. And probably be leaving you soon because I've got to go back up to the hospital. Laying over 3.5 goals. Very good odds. Given them half an hour to go. Any scene +1. Is it decent enough? It certainly is. It's dangerous. That's telling you it's dangerous. 2.4. But let's look at the in-play stats. If you want to gain some confidence, 5 shots on, 6 off, 7 corners, 44 attacks to 10, 0.86 expected goals. But just a sudden burst from Telstar. They haven't been dominating the match. This has the look of a side who are playing on the break, doesn't it? Utter dominance from the away side. Boom, boom. Off you go. Merry Christmas. So that's probably what's happening there. But it looks, for me, +1 looks very generous under these circumstances. But yet again, maybe my enthusiasm wanes. No shots on target second half. Only 2 off target second half. All of their bluster has come in the first half. 2 shots, 2 goals. Another Desmond. What on earth is going on here? So we've just had the one ding coming in. Nothing doing with Blackpool. So it's just an experiment to see how many of these come in. Cardiff and Doncaster I would be playing late. But not just yet. Because it's got a good story to it. Cardiff and Leicester. And I will show you the 1.25 drip laying method. In case you wanted to get involved early. And you can do it all now. 1.25 to win a fiver. 1.19 to win a fiver. Get in again. 1.14 to win a fiver. Get in again. 1.09 to win something like 11. And get in again. 1.06 to win something like 17. That way, if a goal comes before you normally get involved at 1.09 and 1.06, boom, you've got the result. Oh man, just a single goal. That was my worry. They were very under par against Preston, but I showed you the odds. They were relatively good, weren't they? Just before the goal came. 2.52 to lay the draw there. Why couldn't I take it? As I say, it's a bit of a hitting the crossbar today. Peterborough should have got that profit with that single goal before half-time. Just couldn't find the market to play in the half-time market. Should have got out Millwall with a break-even-ish. £6 loss there, I think, would have been the net loss there. So a good enough session. Bolton Wanderers getting the late winner. Good stuff for them. Later on, well, look at our bankers. Arsenal and Wolves, absolutely obvious. Should see a goal before half-time at 8 o'clock this evening. Paris Saint-Germain coming off the back of a poor performance against Atletico Bilbao, 0-0 in the Champions League. Metz, desperate need for a win. Could get on the score sheet. Did have a run of 3 consecutive wins, but are bang smack in severe trouble. Barcelona, 3 goal heroes. 2+ goals before half-time as well. Copenhagen in the cup. You saw Viberg earlier on. Oh, Vetsler earlier on. Underperforming. Up to Copenhagen if they're interested in a cup match or not. Saint Etienne refer to St Johnstone yesterday. Newly relegated, dominating the lower tier. So if you follow these bankers, you can see the strike rate is excellent, but you've only really got the one trade here unless you play before half time. And well, lay the draw, of course, at 1-1 post 60th minute. That's your Atletico Madrid blueprint, isn't it? The match is ending soon. Birmingham and Charlton. Birmingham would be disappointing to have lost or not gained a point with that kind of pressure. Cardiff and Donny, we're getting into that territory now where the next goal is a winner. Nothing much doing. Luton, again, the momentum is stagnant coming to the end of that match. Valladolid and Andorra, all of my enthusiasm waned once I looked at the shots on and off target. Nothing doing, is there? And they should, against Andorra, be eyeing something, but not turning up. This has been the story of this week. You're seeing wonderful stats, but when was the last shot? Well, 89th minute, that's great. 82nd, 92nd, so yeah, putting the foot on the gas, but trying to get far too much done, far too late. On paper, Lazio are 2.15 because, amazingly, I think they failed to score in 5 away matches. It's just astounding, given at home you would be all over them. Absolutely all over them. So I'll show you this before I go. I've got to go back to the hospital now, drop off a trolley for me ma. Make sure she's okay as well on her birthday. She's had a lovely day. I made a song for her on a Suno. She was doing the jigs. Failed to score. 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 That's why you're 2.15 away to a team who've only had 3 wins all season. So if you're failing to score, is this just a simple drop in class for Lazio, where they've got a good opportunity to actually score? 18th against 10th. This might tell you the story. But again, a couple of failed to scores. Clean sheets, though. All clean sheets. So if you want to lay over 0.5 goals at the start of this match, if Lazio score today, they're highly likely to win. That's pretty much the scenario, isn't it? An interesting match. For me, it could be almost a redemption match insofar as Lazio are playing a lesser light today. Red card for Livy. Is that going to end the Desmond? Probably not. So I'm going to leave you now. I've got to head off to the hospital. Thank you very much for coming along. Hope to see you tomorrow. I will probably be doing a live stream Saturday and Sunday. I expect my mum to be back Tuesday, Wednesday. I won't be doing a session on Tuesday. It's a cup day. I've been invited out for a meal as well. I can't be sat in front of a computer 24/7 on my Todd. When I'm in Guernsey, I've got to meet up with old friends now and again. And this is a good night to do it. It's a cup night throughout Europe. So you won't be hearing from me on Tuesday. But as long as there's nothing wrong with my mum, that'll be fine. 2-3, Cercle Brugge making a comeback there. Well, looks like these matches are all ending. Another Desmond has come in. Cardiff and Donny. Now, how about that to end the session? That's more like it, boys and girls. That's a great way to end the session. Fabulous. Now that's put me right in the green. Hope you followed up. Let me know in the comments if you got involved in this Cardiff Doncaster. Please green up because they have conceded 3 goals already. What a great way to end the session. Fabulous stuff. Nice to see you all. Thank you very much for all coming. I didn't see any increase in comments since 10 to 4. So if there were comments, I haven't seen them. I'll just check that. I'm off now to the hospital and I'll leave you with that lovely late prophet, the Desmond 3-3, as I like to call him. just make sure I haven't been missing your comments, because you haven't been posting any, I don't think, since 10 to 4. So just make sure that that's correct. And let's just have a look. And then I'll say goodbye. So we're just, yeah, that's the last one. So fine job. Thanks very much for coming along. I will leave you with that get out of jail Cardiff and Doncaster play. Delighted with that one. That was a couple of dings for the Desmonds. And off we go. Have a great day.